When people think about the Russia-Ukraine war, they usually imagine trench lines, armored assaults, and territorial advances measured in kilometers. But beneath those visible front lines, a far more consequential battle is being fought, one that rarely appears on battlefield maps. This is the battle of systems. Russia's long-range strike campaign is not designed to capture territory quickly. Instead, it aims to gradually reshape the war by targeting the structures that allow Ukraine to function as a modern fighting state. Energy infrastructure, logistics hubs, industrial facilities, air defense networks, these are the real objectives. Understanding this campaign is critical, because it represents how modern wars are increasingly fought. Victory is no longer determined only by who advances on the map, but by who can maintain endurance under sustained systemic pressure. In this video, we will examine how Russia's long-range strike strategy evolved, how it is being executed today, and why its long-term impact may be far more significant than daily battlefield updates suggest. At the beginning of the invasion in early 2022, Russia launched a wave of precision strikes aimed at paralyzing Ukraine's command and control. Airfields, radar sites, and headquarters were targeted in an attempt to achieve rapid operational collapse. This approach reflected traditional Russian military doctrine, which emphasizes early disruption of enemy coordination. However, the strategy did not succeed as planned. Ukraine's command structure proved resilient. Key assets were dispersed. Western intelligence sharing provided early warnings. And most importantly, Ukraine adapted faster than expected. As the war transitioned from rapid maneuver to prolonged conflict, Russian planners were forced to reassess their approach. The focus shifted away from decisive shock operations and toward sustained attrition. This marked the beginning of a new phase, one centered on long-range strikes not as a knockout tool, but as a pressure mechanism. The goal was no longer immediate collapse, but gradual degradation. This strategic shift aligned with a broader reality. Modern industrial wars are won not by dramatic breakthroughs, but by exhausting an opponent's ability to sustain resistance. Today, Russia's long-range strike campaign follows a calculated and layered approach. Rather than relying solely on high-end cruise missiles, the campaign integrates drones, ballistic missiles, and standoff weapons in coordinated waves. Drones are often launched first. Their purpose is not always destruction but detection. They force Ukrainian air defenses to activate, revealing positions and consuming interceptor missiles. Once these defenses are engaged, faster and more capable weapons follow. Targets are selected based on systemic impact. Energy facilities are repeatedly hit to strain repair capacity rather than achieve permanent destruction. Transportation nodes are targeted to disrupt supply chains. Industrial sites are struck to slow defense production and maintenance. Timing is also deliberate. Attacks often coincide with periods of high energy demand, ammunition shortages, or political uncertainty. The objective is to amplify pressure at moments when resilience is already under strain. This is not random violence. It is a campaign designed to impose continuous friction across multiple domains simultaneously. From a military standpoint, long-range strikes create asymmetry. Defending against them is expensive. Air defense systems require costly interceptors, complex logistics, and trained crews. Even successful interceptions impose a financial and operational burden. Ukraine faces difficult choices. Air defense assets cannot protect every city, every power plant, and every frontline unit at the same time. Each defensive decision creates vulnerabilities elsewhere. Logistically, repeated strikes slow movement, disrupt repairs, and divert manpower. Maintenance crews must work under constant threat. Supply routes require rerouting. Industrial output becomes less predictable. For Russia, the economics are different. While advanced missiles are limited, the growing use of cheaper drones allows sustained pressure without exhausting strategic reserves. The emphasis is not on efficiency, but persistence. This reflects a fundamental lesson of modern warfare. The side that can impose costs more cheaply and consistently gains long-term advantage. The implications of this campaign extend far beyond Ukraine. NATO militaries are closely studying the effectiveness of layered strike tactics, air defense saturation, and infrastructure resilience. This war has revealed uncomfortable truths. Even advanced air defense systems can be overwhelmed. Civilian infrastructure is deeply intertwined with military capability, and prolonged pressure can be as decisive as battlefield victory. Politically, long-range strikes complicate international support. Each escalation raises concerns about supply sustainability, escalation thresholds, and domestic political tolerance. Strategically, the campaign highlights a shift in warfare. Conflicts are no longer about decisive battles alone, but about managing endurance over time. The side that maintains functionality under constant stress gains strategic leverage. Looking ahead, several trajectories are possible. Russia may increase strike frequency if production allows. Ukraine may adapt through dispersal, hardening, and improved interception. However, the fundamental dynamic is unlikely to change. Long-range strikes will remain a central feature of the conflict, shaping decisions on both sides. The outcome will not be determined by any single strike, but by the cumulative effect of thousands of small pressures applied over time. The Russia-Ukraine war is increasingly defined by systems rather than front lines. Long-range strikes are not about spectacle. They are about endurance. By targeting infrastructure, logistics, and resilience, Russia's strike campaign seeks to reshape the war's trajectory, gradually and persistently. Understanding this reality is essential, because it reflects how future wars may be fought, not through rapid collapse, but through sustained pressure on the foundations of modern states.